quite a journey. It is definitely a blustery day, but we're going to go ahead and bring on and press on and bring you this show. I just want to talk to you about the GuideStones. I'm going to show you the GuideStones in detail, and then I'm going to maybe give you some of my conclusions or ideas about it. I just wanted you to get an idea of these things are out in the middle of nowhere. Look at the surroundings. And to be honest with you, this really isn't the middle of nowhere. You'd have to drive about 25 minutes to get to the middle of nowhere. This is in the middle. I mean, it's a long way to the middle of nowhere. There's just nothing at all out here. And that's part of my conclusions I've reached about this place, why it's here, who put it up. And I think I'm going to create some controversy by the statements that I'm going to make and the conclusions I'm going to draw. But I don't know how well you can hear me, but the visual is what you're after anyway. So I'm going to go up and take a good look at the GuideStone with you. I'm going to narrate it, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the GuideStones themselves. So I was just talking with some of the locals. The locals don't really think much about it. Locals don't really know, who put it up, or they don't really care too much why. But it's just one of those things, and I've got some ideas. And let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at the GuideStones very, very carefully. And I'm going to show you them in full detail. And I just want to thank you for making it possible through your support, through your purchasing of rods and Mistech, and your support through my PayPal at jeffreydarty.com. You're the ones that are making this possible, and I appreciate it so very much. So let's take a look at the GuideStones themselves. A real close look at them. And basically what you've got are these big granite slabs. And on each one of these you have, of course, the writing that is infamous, or I can't change the orientation. Basically says maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity, unite humanity with a living language, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court, avoid petty laws and useless officials, balance personal rights with social duties, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite, be not a cancer on the earth, leave room for nature, leave room for nature. And if you look up at the top there, you might have to, I'll zoom in on it with pictures that I'll post later. You can see it's cuneiform. And then over here you have the same thing written. I believe this one is German, or not German, I'm Russian. So you have the same thing that we just read in English over here in Russian. I'm pretty sure it's Russian. And again, look, middle of. And then over here we've got it written in, I want to say that's Chinese, perhaps Japanese. I think it's Chinese. Could be Japanese. And then we have it written in an Indian script. I don't know the name of it, or is it Sanskrit? I'm not sure. Same thing, or same writings, Hebrew. And you can see, I don't know what that language is up there. There's another one over here, another different language. I think it tells me over here on this rock what these are. So all of these different languages, the same message in all of these different languages. The same message in all these different languages. Then we have it over here again. Yeah, I'm not sure what this language is. Up there again, whoops. Pardon my selfie slippage. As long as we don't selfie shrinkage, we'll be okay. There we go. Espanol. I forget what this does. This lines you up with something. It gives you an idea of, if you look, it lines you up with something. One of these is for the Northern Star. You can see the hole up in the ceiling of it. I can see the light through it. I don't know why it's showing up on here. That's the Northern Star. I'm Jeffrey Doherty, your Christian Whistleblower, coming to you live from the Georgia GuideStones. Live on location from the Georgia GuideStones. Pretty amazing stuff. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Georgia GuideStones right there. I'm just going to continue to walk around and give you a 360. And folks, this is what your support of the Christian Whistleblower is enabling to happen. If it wasn't for your support, I wouldn't be here right now. So when you're buying your divining rods, you're making this possible. When you're buying your Mistech, you're making this possible. When you're going to jeffreydoherty.com and hitting that donate button, you're making this possible. Now that's an interesting view, isn't it? Look at that. It's actually pretty spectacular in a weird kind of a way. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey Doherty, your Christian Whistleblower, live from the Georgia GuideStones. And let's take a look over here. I hope I'm not breaking protocol by walking on this. But you see it says the Georgia GuideStones. Center cluster erected March 22, 1998. Maybe Tricia Kelly will tell us the significance of that. Maybe Heidi Vandenberg will tell us the significance of that date. And as I was saying, you've got Babylonian cuneiform, you've got classical Greek, you have Sanskrit. I was right on one of them, at least Sanskrit. And there is Egyptian hieroglyphics as well. Let these GuideStones be GuideStones to an age of reason. Okay, here we go. The channel through stone indicates the celestial pole. So the hole there in the middle, as we walk over there, that will indicate the celestial pole. So if we peer through here, we're peering right through to the celestial pole. How about that? Can you see the celestial pole? How about that? The celestial pole. Just in case, we'll look this direction, and we're indicating the celestial pole, evidently. Very interesting. Let's go back and see what these other things mean. See if folks, you can hear whistleblowers. All right. Well, the horizontal slot, that's what we just looked at, indicates the horizontal slot indicates the annual travel of the sun. Also, we were looking at the annual travel of the sun. The sunbeam through the capstone marks noontime throughout the year. Check that out. So at high noon, at noon each day, except for today because there was no sun, at noon each day, it's going to shine through this hole. That hole right there. The noonday sun shines through, indicates noon. This indicates the celestial, what tracks the Northern Star throughout the year, basically is what it is. You look through here and you get the Northern Star, because this is due north right here. Check that out. That's amazing. So, wow. So that's going to look you right to the Northern Star. Pretty cool, huh? I didn't even notice that one. Check that out. So this will get you. This will track the sun throughout the year, and this one's going to track the Northern Star. So it does have some unique celestial alignments, or at least some precise celestial alignments. So let's go back over here and see what else we're looking at. Of course, a better videographer would have done this first. The author, R.C. Christian, a pseudonym, we'll talk about that. The sponsors, a small group of Americans who seek the age of reason. We're going to talk about that. There's a time capsule 6 feet below this spot to be opened on some indeterminate date. So let's talk about what they are. They're 19 feet, 3 inches high. They weigh 237,000 pounds. The 4 major stones are 16 feet, 4 inches high, each weighing 42,000 plus. The center stone 16 feet. Capstone 9 feet 8 inches long. You can read this. And I just wonder about the numerology of all this. And you can see how we were talking about what languages were on them. Russian, it was Chinese, not Japanese. Arabic, Hebrew, English, Spanish, Swahili, and Hindi. Additional information is available at a museum that I'm sure is closed right now. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Georgia GuideStones. A riddle right up in an enigma. Encased within a conundrum. Who built them and why? Why the hell do you build them out in the middle of nowhere? Or someplace that's even a long way from the middle of nowhere? Why? 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 I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to speculate. Hard to speculate. I'm gonna expect some people say Ted Turner built them. I don't think Ted Turner built them. Somebody says Hubbard built them. Let's talk about that. I think those are the two leading theories. Ted Turner and Hubbard. We're going to talk about those two leading theories. And I'm going to pontificate what my beliefs are. I know it's unlike me to pontificate, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I hope you can hear me, but if you can't, enjoy the video. So let's talk about this. And again, I just want you to get an idea of where they are. I drove like 10 hours from Florida. And this place, it's in the middle of nowhere. And it just makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever why they're here. The locals I've talked to, they don't even care about them. They say they kind of appeared relatively overnight. Somebody takes care of them. So let's talk about the GuideStones themselves. Let's talk about why they're here. Let's talk about the two leading theories that Ted Turner of CNN fame were about 2 hours east of Atlanta. Let's talk about whether it was L. Hubbard that did this. Let's talk about the leading theories. Let me share with you my theory of what they're here for and who built them. It's very, very windy. You're absolutely right. So let's talk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about this place. Oh, look at that. It's a nice chain link fence so I can lean my selfie up against it. So let's talk about the different theories of this thing. Not the most flattering angle. Let's find a better angle for the GuideStones. What do you say? Let's find a better angle. Somebody's thinking angle of the dangle. Don't do that. You shouldn't think that way. All right, so Georgia GuideStones. Let's talk about them. Did Ted Turner build the Georgia GuideStones? Well, if Ted Turner built the Georgia GuideStones, Ted Turner is a guy that's all about promotion. Ted Turner is a guy that's all about getting his information known. And you see that stain up there. I had a couple locals tell me there's some lore that that's a blood stain from some type of an animal sacrifice that was performed on top of there. That's just what I heard from two different locals. I can't confirm or deny. Sounds a little far-fetched to me, but that's what they told me, since you're probably wondering about that. But if Ted Turner had built these things, and they do line up with his stated ideas and beliefs, I'm here, Amber, indeed. If Ted Turner built these things, Ted Turner's all about promotion, Ted Turner's all about getting his information out. If Ted Turner built these things, I've got to believe they'd be sitting in the middle of CNN Center in downtown Atlanta. If Ted Turner built these things, I've got to believe they would be somewhere where somebody would actually see them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most remote places I've ever been to. I mean, it is hard to get here. And I'm telling you, if I didn't have GPS, I would not have found this place. It is impossible to find. I hope it was a blood stain. It says angels here to observe the end. That's what the locals tell me, that it was a blood stain. I probably already spoke about this, but how is the vibe? The vibe is interesting, and I'm going to talk about that now in detail. Ted Turner wouldn't put this up out here in the middle of nowhere when no one's here to see it. Why would he? If he's trying to get people to embrace his beliefs, if he's trying to spread his beliefs, what did they cost? They cost a bunch. I mean, 100 grand is a lot of, that's real money to people like you and me. It's not to Ted Turner. Because of the vortex, I don't know. Why would Ted Turner care about it being a vortex here? He doesn't care. Ted Turner would do it for publicity. I agree with you, angels. It makes no sense to me that Ted Turner would have put these up, because they're not in a place where he can gain any publicity. They're not in a place where he can gain any notoriety. Thank you, Hawaiian girl Beth. It's a dead zone. We aren't nothing much around here. And your comment went away, I'm sorry. They fade fast on the live here. So I have to say no to Ted Turner. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. And whoever put these GuideStones here did not put them here because they are to be looked at. They did not put them here because they're to be read. They did not put them here because they're to be seen. They put the GuideStones here for something that has to do with this spot. I'm speculating. They put the GuideStones here because there's something about this spot. And this spot is freaking nowhere. There is a time capsule. We already looked at that, Dean. It's right over here to my left. Stage right. Jeff put a sock on the microphone. There is no microphone, bro. It's my iPhone. So, the GuideStones are not about the GuideStones themselves. They're about this spot. What happened at this spot that makes it so important to someone to mark it with a rather impressive monument? I don't know if you could call it megalithic, but it is quite an impressive monument. Somebody was very moved by something that happened here. If you consider the tracking of the sun, if you consider the tracking of the Northern Star, it would almost seem that whatever happened here would have some astronomical or even space-like qualities. I don't think it's the ley lines. I really don't. Something happened at this spot that somebody wanted to commemorate. Something happened at this spot that somebody wanted to commemorate, and it is astronomical in nature. It has to do with space itself in nature. Why did somebody build these things? They were commemorating an event that had to do with space, an event that had to do with time. And I'm going to go so far as to say that I believe I have deciphered why it happened. I believe I know why they built it, and I'm ready to tell you why they built it. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the friendly Christian whistleblower, coming to you from the Georgia GuideStones, live and on location. You know I live in Clearwater, Florida, the headquarters of the Church of Scientology. And ladies and gentlemen, this thing has Scientology written all over it, in my humble opinion. It looks Scientology-like to me. It's well kept, it's well maintained. It reminds me of the architecture that I'm surrounded by in downtown Clearwater. And I'm telling you folks, and Jennifer's already picking up what I'm putting down, the lore is that L. Ron Hubbard had this monument put up. Iowa X, you're so close. L. Ron Hubbard had this monument put up, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the spot where Zemu first landed on planet Earth. L. Ron Hubbard believed, in my opinion, that this is the spot where Zemu first landed on planet Earth. There's something about this spot. This spot is commemorating, this monument is commemorating something that happened on this spot. The lore is that Hubbard believes this is where Zemu first landed. To me, that makes perfect sense. Let's talk about the logical reasons first. It's in the middle of freaking nowhere. The middle of nowhere is a half-hour drive. There's no reason. It's so freaking hard to get here. It's impossible to get here. Impossible to get here without a GPS. I'm telling you folks, L. Ron Hubbard put these suckers up because he thinks this is where Zemu landed. I do have my rods, and I'm going to go get them in a second. If you look at this thing from the air, look at it on Google Earth, it's an X. Zemu, X-E-N-U, or X-E-M-U. Well, Jeff, what about all the writing on the GuideStones? That is all about, that's so L. Ron Hubbard. You know I've studied L. Ron Hubbard. You know I've read the 18 basic books of L. Ron Hubbard. I'm going to go to my car and get the rods. Walk with me. You know that I've read all that, and there's a book I want to show you. Yes, we really are at the Georgia GuideStones, ladies and gentlemen. We really are at the Georgia GuideStones. And I'm going to show you something I think is going to blow your mind. And I'm going to show you a little thing that's called research, ladies and gentlemen. Something that you don't see enough of these days. There's a lot of speculation, but there's not a lot of research. And before you start lambasting my theories, I have one question for you. Have you been, bro? If you haven't been, shut it. Do some research. Come look at them yourself before you start telling me what they are. Have you been, bro? 1 second. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a book by L. Ron Hubbard. It's called The Invader's Plan. It's book 1 of a 10-book series about Mission Earth. It talks about how, and it's fictionalized, it's a fictionalized account of how Zemu came to Earth. 10 of them. Research. These Georgia GuideStones behind me are all about this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get the rods out. I don't know how I'm going to work the rods and the camera, but we're going to try to figure it out somehow. Please tell me I remembered the rods. Ah, here's the rods. We're okay. Don't panic. We got the rods. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me finish up with my belief about what's going on here, and then we'll take a rod walk around this place. Then we'll take a rod walk. I'm telling you happened here, ladies and gentlemen, is that L. Ron Hubbard believes that Zemu first landed here. This is the first place that Zemu touched down on planet Earth. That's what L. Ron Hubbard believed. And that's why L. Ron Hubbard built these Georgia GuideStones, because he believed this was the first place that Zemu landed on planet Earth. The words on the GuideStones are classic they're classic deception. They are classic misdirection. They're classic disinformation. And somewhere, ladies and gentlemen, L. Ron Hubbard is laughing because everybody's looking at this like it's New World Order. Everybody's looking at this like, oh, it's Ted Turner. It's the bad people. They want to kill us all. And all L. Ron Hubbard did was put all that information on those GuideStones to keep us from realizing that it is a monument to Zemu. He did it for disinformation. He did it as counterintelligence. The words on these GuideStones have no meaning. It might as well say, Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. It might as well say that it followed her to school one day, and I forget the rest of them, Mary had a little lamb. And all the children laughed and played to see a lamb at school, some kind of stuff like that. But what is written on these GuideStones is absolutely, positively irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything to anyone, except for the people that don't understand why they're here. It's L. Ron Hubbard, it's Scientology, putting deception on these things so that the uninitiated, which is all of us, won't realize that it is a monument commemorating the first landing of Zemu on planet Earth. The Georgia GuideStones were erected, in my humble opinion, by L. Ron Hubbard because he believed that this was the first place that Zemu landed on planet Earth. And he put all the information on them as disinformation, as counterintelligence, as misinformation. And that's the secret of the Georgia GuideStones. That's why they're there, and that's why they're mysterious. That's why they're not put up for anybody to see, except for people that know how to get there, like Scientologists. They're not put up for anybody to ever notice or see. They're put up to mark the spot where Zemu landed on planet Earth. Now people say, but Zemu isn't real. If you're yelling at your computer right now that Zemu isn't real, you believe in Anunnaki, you believe in blue avians, you believe in Syrians, you believe in Zeta Reticulans, you believe in insectoids, you believe in Martians, you believe in reptilians that live inside the earth, you believe in demons and devils, you believe in all of these spiritual entities, but you're absolutely concerned, you're absolutely convinced that Zemu can't be real. If all these other things are real, why can't Zemu be real? Why couldn't there be a real entity named Zemu? And I'm not saying I believe that he's real, but I'm saying that he could be real. And that's really irrelevant because these babies are here because Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard believed that Zemu was real. And that Zemu first landed here on the spot of the Georgia GuideStones. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the answer to the mystery of the Georgia GuideStones. L. Ron Hubbard erected these bad boys as a memorial to where Zemu first landed. Crowley and Hubbard knew of each other. Crowley never met Hubbard because Crowley was over in the UK during that time, and Parsons was his de facto leader in the U.S., and it was Parsons and LRH, L. Ron Hubbard, that hung out. So that's the mystery of the Georgia Guidestones. Solved. So I'm going to try to figure out how I can set this down, and we can do a little rod work. Because let's ask the rods if L. Ron Hubbard had these suckers built. Let's ask the rods if the Georgia Guidestones were built by L. Ron Hubbard. Let's ask the rods. Because the rods know all and tell all, right? Let's ask the rods. Let's see if we can get an artful shot here. Is L. Ron Hubbard responsible for erecting the Georgia Guidestones? Oh, they say yes. Are the Georgia Guidestones here to mark the landing of Zemu on Earth? Yes. Did Ted Turner build the Georgia Guidestones? No. Did Zemu really land here? Yes. Is Zemu an actual real entity? Yes. Is Zemu watching us right now? Not really. Did L. Ron Hubbard... Whoa! That was quick. Was it a nice catch or a bad drop? Is L. Ron Hubbard responsible for the Georgia Guidestones? Yes, he is, even in the wind. Did Zemu land here? Whoops, did Zemu land here? Did Zemu land here? Yes, he did. Is Zemu real? Yes, he is. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what the rods say. I don't know how much confidence you have in the rods. I have a lot. I'm going to... How can I do this where I can show you? I'm going to walk around with the rods and see how they react to this place. And see, I want to see if you can see how they're reacting. Let's turn this camera on. And I didn't show you this, but this is just something that tells you what's going on. You can pause the screen if you want to read it. So let's see if you can see these rods here. I'm going to hold this under my arm, so it's not going to be perfect, but I'm just going to walk around with the rods. I think the wind is going to probably nullify anything that we could see, but how are the rods going to react to the Guidestones? Wow, the rods are definitely, look at that, the rods are definitely pulling towards the Guidestones as I walk. Look at that, can you see that? The rods are pulling towards the Guidestones as I walk. Whoops. The rods are, damn it. I need somebody to come out here with me. The rods are pulling hard towards the Guidestones as I walk. Even as I turn, they want to come right towards the Guidestones. Damn it, you can't see, but they're being pulled. There is some energetic emanation from the Guidestones. Sorry about this, guys, but I can't figure out any other way to do it. These rods are slamming over towards the Guidestones. There is something energetic about these Guidestones. The rods will not leave the Guidestones. The rods, ladies and gentlemen, won't leave the Guidestones as I walk around with them. The rods are locked in on the Guidestones, so there is some energy in these Guidestones. You have big hands, Jeff. Well, you know what they say about people with big hands, don't you? They wear big gloves. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give you one more look at the Guidestones. There is some energetic eminence from it. I want to give you one more nice circular look at the Guidestones. So here they are, the Georgia Guidestones. I'm going to give you a round look at it. We're going to go all the way around them. And then I'll give you a close-up of each panel again. The Georgia Guidestones, and one thing they're lacking is a bathroom. There's no bathroom here. Georgia GuideStones, your friendly neighborhood Christian whistleblower, live and on location, thanks to you. And I'm not ignoring your comments, I just can't read them because they're way out at the end of the selfie stick. The Georgia GuideStones, ladies and gentlemen, you're here. Live and in person, you are at the Georgia GuideStones. You are at the Georgia GuideStones. Now let's zoom in and give you a close-up look at each panel again before we leave. See the Egyptian hieroglyphics up there? Here's your English. L. Ron Hubbard written all over this, ladies and gentlemen. Here's your Russian. Here's your Chinese. Oh, that's your Egyptian hieroglyphics up there. My bad. This was Sanskrit or Swahili. And then over here, and there's horses out in the field. Hopefully there's not a horse's ass on the other end of this selfie stick. Here's your Hebrew. And that's some kind of something up there. And some other something over here. Very interesting. But it might as well be Mary Had a Little Lamb, because it's all deception, ladies and gentlemen. It's all disinformation. It's all designed to get you thinking that it's something that it's not. This marks the progression of the sun throughout the year. You can see the different moon of the sun throughout the year. This hole up here at the top, noon, the sun shines through every day. And this hole tracks the movement of the northern star throughout the year. Turn this around, maybe you can get an idea of the perspective of things. And there's the hole that you can see for the northern star. And you can see they're pretty big. Here I am next to the Hebrew. I'm just trying to give you an idea of the size of these things. I can't turn the thing because it tells me, no, you can't do it, the orientation's set. So they're big. They're big. Look at that. They're big. There's Jeff in front of these big honking things. Oh, dude, that's a nice thumbnail right there. Boop. Let's go over to the English side, and I'm gonna get that so I can freeze that. I like that. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The Georgia GuideStones, your friendly Christian whistleblower. Boom. There you go. The Georgia GuideStones, made possible by you and your support of your friendly neighborhood Christian whistleblower, and we're just getting started. 2 weeks ago, the big event in Clearwater, Florida, live event. 1 week ago, we were at Coral Castle. Today, Georgia GuideStones. And over the next couple days, we're going to be doing the Parthenon in Nashville. We're going to be doing President Andrew Jackson's Hermitage and the ghost tour there. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just getting started. We're the last generation of real humans, and we're getting busy. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, your friendly neighborhood Christian whistleblower. Keep helping me, keep supporting me, and we'll keep doing this kind of stuff. We'll see you again real soon from Nashville. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, signing off, reminding you to unindoctrinate yourself. Keep asking questions, keep questioning answers, and if this work is helping you, meditatively consider supporting jeffreydaugherty.com. Donate. Mistech, rods. It's all there for you. I thank you. I appreciate you. Namaste, love, peace, and we'll see you real soon.